Coming up in the National Report, BTC promising more than $100 million in upgrades.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, hear what the BCPOU president has to say about BTC's restructuring exercise. Straight ahead. Also tonight, was there a lapse in protocol? Ahead tonight, what the government is saying about the status of Parliamentary Secretary Renwood Wells. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Topping the news tonight, BTC says it's looking to make a better connection with its customers by eliminating nagging interruptions and making the upgrades which will keep the company in step with industry trends.
Now, in order to make that happen, BTC CEO Leon Williams says the company will be spending hundreds of millions of dollars to bring the 4G service in line and even look at upgrading to 5G technology. Jimenita Swain reports.
The Bahamas Telecommunications Company concedes it has had many challenges with its network lately. While CEO Leon Williams admits to that, he explains that next-generation fixed lines and DSL or internet services all need to be upgraded, and that will cost millions. But just how much?
Over 100 million. Over 100. And you got to keep in mind that while we are doing this, the Asians are already working on 5G. We're trying to get 4G straight. So if we don't get to market very quickly with the 4G and get that fixed, we'll be running again behind the curve trying to get 5G in.
Williams outlines why customers have been plagued with these network challenges.
We're into a transition period. We've got difficulties with the fixed line network. We're transitioning, trying to build a next generation, we call it NGN network for the wireline customers. And in the midst of that, we've got this major difficulty of drop calls on the mobile network. There are over 200 plus cell sites in the Bahamas. Many of those cell sites are up to capacity.
Williams said in the last 2 weeks they've had to build 2 cows or cell on wheel sites to rectify the problems as best as possible, but the mega resort is the cause of some of BTC's challenges.
The Bahama property has been building stage by stage, and so it has now blocked the signal. So a lot of people transiting that highway calls are dropped simply because the Bahama building is blocking the signal. So we are putting in a temporary cow cellular on wheels on Bahama Boulevard that we will now turn into a permanent site. But we need about 17 sites in Nassau just to address the calls, the drop call situation.
Cellular services upgrades take into account data usage, so William notes a significant amount will be directed specifically towards that area. But overall, William said BTC will be ready for competition.
We're in the midst of spending some $20 million to change the network and make the network adaptable to that. But the young people, you have to speak to what they're doing, social media. A lot of things that we did 5 years ago does not exist anymore. And so the whole network has to change. It is now a data-driven network. But we will be ready for that. We will have our network in place to face competition. Whomever the government decides to license next year, we will have our network in place to be able to ward them off.
Williams said by November, BTC's services should be at optimum. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
In related news tonight, a top executive from the Bahamas Telecommunications Company is stepping down, and there may be several more resignations as part of a management restructuring at the company.
Today, President of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, Bernard Evans, told us how this may affect his members. We get this story now from LaDon Davis.
President of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, Bernard Evans, says he is not worried about the pending restructuring exercise taking shape at BTC. In fact, Evans says the moves now in progress will not adversely affect any BCPOU members.
We expected that there would have been some changes at the very top, but not at the line staff level. So we may be talking about executive management level, maybe at the senior manager level, some changes there. But not the BCPOU members level. So we were not too concerned. while we are concerned of who will be leading BTC into this privatization exercise, because we need maximum survival is very, very important, and it's pertinent to our very existence.
Evans says an email was sent out to staff members on Monday morning by CEO Leon Williams confirming that Senior VP of Sales and Marketing Marlon Johnson will demit office after 7 years of service to the company by month's end. Evans says he strongly believes more executives will be packing up over the next few months.
Mr. Williams coming back, maybe management style differences, maybe, I don't know, but we can't really comment on that because we really don't know. But like I said, the rumors have been flying from the latter part of last year that there were going to be some changes at the very top. And so again, we're not surprised to see them now come to fruition.
Now, even though the restructuring exercise will not affect BTC line staff members, Evans says there are still some outstanding issues that need to be addressed.
We do have our industrial agreement that is outstanding. We're going to try and present that hopefully by the end of this week. Again, we gave him the time. It has been now, I believe, almost 30 days, if not. I think he took office July 3rd, or first day about. And so by the end of this month, we look to sit down with him officially.
ZNS News attempted to speak to Senior VP of Marketing and Sales Marlon Johnson, who declined an on-camera interview, but did confirm that he is leaving the telecommunications company at the end of the month. Johnson says he feels it's time to move on after nearly 8 years at the company and says he is currently exploring other options. Meanwhile, Evans says the new CEO will take roughly 30 days to complete his new management team. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
In other news tonight, the Bahamas is the first country in the region to provide a legal framework for geospatial data. And Prime Minister Perry Christie believes the move was crucial to modernizing the civil service and improving information sharing.
Well, as the 10th anniversary of the reactivation of the National Geographic Information System Center was celebrated today, the nation's leader noted the center's increasing importance.
The Bahamas National Geographic Information System is dedicated to providing visual spatial data for solving complex planning and land management problems. It's similar to Google Maps. The Prime Minister reiterated that the information it provides is beneficial in disaster preparedness and to the police in its crime-fighting efforts.
Mr. Commissioner, this is a valuable tool for you. There are examples, whether in my term, or in Ingram's term, or in Penling's term, the Prime Ministers of the Bahamas, where lack of planning has cost the government a lot. Any planning facility, any planning agency, and get them to work, because that is the way you pass on this country to future generations with minimal degradation.
His comments came during Monday's opening of the 10th anniversary celebrations on the reactivation of the BNGIS Center, where he used the opportunity to highlight decreasing unemployment numbers and predicts that over the next 18 months there will be a dramatic improvement to drive the economic developments nationwide.
Don't be surprised at good results. And tell them for me, eat their heart out, because it's going to come. And there's a fundamental difference between this time and 07 when they want to make editorial comments on it. The difference is I knew the mistakes I made in 2007, and I'm going to ensure, whether I'm there or not, this grouping have learned from those mistakes. I have been elected for 5 years. The people invested confidence in my government, and my government will go about effecting change, engage in promotional activities, and all by research-driven and evidence-driven policy.
Prime Minister Perry Christie contends that the country has been governed by a lack of planning through successive governments.
How do we keep pace with development? How do we ensure that our planning is not overtaken by the planning of the private sector? These are questions that grip the attention of governments, whoever they may be, and whoever may be leading them.
And that's why the BNGIS Center is so crucial. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Urban Development, the Honourable Philip Davis, is denying claims that Renward Wells has resigned or been fired. The revelation comes amidst a slew of media reports that suggest Mr. Wells, who serves as Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, has been asked to consider resigning from his post for allegedly signing a letter of intent for a new waste-to-energy plant worth $600,000. It is alleged that Wells did not follow the proper protocol before signing off on the agreement, but that has not yet been confirmed.
The Alicia Smith manslaughter trial moves closer to conclusion.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the government officially taking ownership of the HMBS Stuart Knowles. We'll tell you the Defense Forces plans coming up.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.